and we'll go to Tracy Ringolsby of MLB.com, who covers the Colorado Rockies and baseball on a national basis. Tracy, Wade Davis, right before we get out of 2017. Happy New Year to you. Your thoughts?
Well, I just think it reinforces what Jeff Braddock established a year ago and what he showed earlier this month, that he's going to go after somebody. He really wanted to bring back Holland. He wanted to bring back Holland. Holland wanted to come back. But when Boris keeps trying to drag him out, he looks at it and says, you know what? I got my choice between two guys. This guy wants to sign. I know I'll have him. I'm signing him. He did the same thing with the LaCroix situation, and he did the same thing a year ago when he signed Desmond. Greg Reynolds turned down a multi-year deal in November. They signed Desmond at the winter meetings. There were no hard feelings. They brought Reynolds back out as a non-roster player to spring training when other opportunities didn't develop, and he played a lot at first base. But it's just that he doesn't want to get shut out at the window if all of a sudden you don't have somebody else in that position. And I think that's what happened in this one. He waited as long as he could possibly wait to try to get the deal done with Holland. One thing Holland has that other people don't necessarily have, they know he can pitch at Coors Field. He had no problems doing that. Davis has only thrown one inning in his career at Coors Field. He struck out two batters. That's not to knock him, but it is a different world, and you have to have a mentality. But they also have great bullpen depth now. When you take those people, and then you look at the possibilities of the guys coming behind them, and let's not forget, that they might eventually put a guy like Cincinnati into a bullpen to move into that. Esteves can eventually develop into a closer. So they've got some depth there. They needed that, and they have it.
I like the plan. So would they go 5 and dive for the most part, except for maybe John Gray, and then they go to that bullpen because they'll have the quantity and maybe even one more?
I don't think they're going to add one more. I don't think that's part of the plan. But, I think they'll let guys pitch as long as they're capable of pitching. I mean, they're not going to throw them. We don't have Nolan Ryan anymore that can throw 237 pitches on 4 days rest. On 3 days rest with 3 rain delays at Yankee Stadium. Those guys aren't here anymore. But so you'll see them stay at that 100 to 120 pitch count. But I don't think they'll take guys out just because they're through that 5-inning thing. But they did see last year when they made their moves prior to the trading deadline, reinforce that bullpen. You've got to do that. You never know when a guy's going to cut his finger or something, and so you want your depth there. And they had the room in their payroll; they were able to do that.
So what's next? I can't sell you on another reliever. Where would you spend the money for the Rockies, or do you think they're done?
If the right guy comes along and he can play either first base or left field, that would be a possibility. But I don't know how crazy you want to go, because I think your focal point now has to be, can you get that 6 or 7 year deal done with Arenado? He'd like to stay here. He's young enough. That's the biggest thing I look at with Arenado. When you start to say 6, 7 years, he's not in his 30s. He's what, 25, 26? So if you were to make that type of a deal with him, you're looking at the prime years of his career. So it's not the gamble that it might be with other players to do that. But I think that's a step forward.
Yeah, he's going to get paid. Tracy, thank you very much. Exciting time for Rockies fans. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.